Alright, so it's finally time to start the chain plate project. A little nerve-wracking because we've never done this before and no one that I know of has ever done this before on this boat. So that's one of the problems with it being kind of a rare boat, is that we can't find any resources on anyone else who's ever done this. So now I'm just gonna kind of wing it because we can't find anyone to help either. I just took the backstay down and here we go. Here's the little rig. I ended up using our snubber. That rope should be plenty strong. You know, we're not going sailing with it like that. And then just attach my topping lift to that. I use the snubber because it's already made with nice eye splices and it's good diameter rope. It's already kind of made for these little king posts also. So now I'm going to take this off, and the reason for taking the backstay off to do this, we're just getting measurements right now. I want to be able to follow this down as straight as possible and then see where I come out the back, and then from there I can calculate the angle at which our new chain plate needs to be bent. Just got the little plate off here so I can see everything down there. It doesn't look too bad, but it does look like a little bit of rust kind of got in there. This is a little bit kind of scratched up, but it doesn't really seem to have any real cracks. So I think we're okay still, but we're still going to move forward with it. Basically now the idea is I'm going to line this drill bit up like that and go down, and I think I'm just going to punch a hole straight through the center for now so I can get my measurement. Then I'll epoxy that up because we still want to do a couple little days of sailing here while we're waiting for these chain plates to get fabricated. So I'll just fill that back up, and then once we actually have the chain plates fabricated, then I'll take a 1/2-inch drill down a few times here, and then kind of clear that whole section out and shove our new one up, and hopefully it all fits. So it's a little nerve-wracking. Damn, that feels terrible, drilling a hole through the side of your boat like that. I don't like it. But now we have a starting point for where our chain plates are going to go down, so we can measure how far they need to go down, probably about right here, and then we'll have it bent up with this length from here to the top of the existing plate there. And I might actually double them up and just leave this one in place. A lot of people grind them off, I guess, but I might just leave that in place just in case our new engineering doesn't work. We can still have that as a backup kinda, and then we can put the little tangs around there and just throw a longer pin through, and we'll probably connect the rigging to the new one, but the pin will go through both of them. So as long as this doesn't completely disintegrate, then that pin should be plenty strong to hold it all together. Alright, so here's the idea, and my angle, it turned out to be 124.5 degrees, and basically it's just this digital little angle finder here, and drilled that through. And what I'm actually trying to find is this angle that's going to be going, you know, down here and up there. But if I measure this, then the opposite side of that should equal the same thing. And then to kind of confirm that, I went here and then spread that out to 124.5, and then took my square and measured it up the whole way to see if we get the same measurement the whole way, showing that it's truly square. I think that should work. And if not, then we can always have them bend it just a little bit more or less, but that should get us in the general vicinity there. And then now, luckily we do have a pretty flat side, so I don't think I'm gonna have to make them bend that. Hopefully it'll suck in just that little amount down there once we throw some bolts through it. Or maybe I'll try and have them just give it a little bit of like a 1/4 inch over 18 inches kind of contour. Now I kind of want to go and use the entire existing chain plate to bolt to. But to find out how low that goes is a little bit difficult without drilling a hole through there, except for I just realized that I have a consistent point right there. Consistent enough, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll give me a good idea of where we're at as far as the chain plate height on the other side if I measure up from the exhaust right there, because the exhaust obviously comes through the back too. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So from the exhaust to the very bottom of the chain plate is about 8 inches. So then I can measure on the outside and see where the bottom of our new chain plate should go. So I marked out that 8 inches above the exhaust is right about there, and then measure here, and we are coming up to about 22 inches. So that seems like a reasonable length. I've seen a lot of people do 18 inch for the external plates, and that brings us up a good deal. I kind of like the 18 inch idea a little bit better because I don't really want bolts exposed way down here. That's a little bit close to the water line, and I'd rather not have a hole through the boat right there. We'll see what they say, I guess. If 22 is, what they recommend, then we'll do it. If we can get away with shorter and still have the structural integrity, 18 sounds like it's going to be plenty to me and keep us a little bit above. Even some people do super short ones. I'd love to keep it at 12 and keep it inside the eye of Alivo there. Would look kind of nice.
There's a hole in our boat. Right there, culprit.
Alright, so now I'm just tightening this back up. Had to put the old cotter pin back in, and I put the old plate on, and to fill that hole I just shoved some butyl tape in there. We tried to fill it with epoxy, but it turns out there is a void space in between the deck and the stern of the boat, so the epoxy just went down into there. So a little bit of butyl tape should seal that up just fine. I'm definitely glad I drilled the smaller hole. I was about to drill the 1/2 inch hole, but I ended up going with a 1/4 inch hole, so that doesn't do anything structurally to the whole section here. 1/2 inch maybe probably wouldn't either, but smaller the better. Served its purpose, and now I'm just tightening these all up again, and I taped this off with electrical tape just to kind of mark the tension that we were at. I think we're a little bit under tension anyways, but we will have to, we just ordered a little tension tester tool today, so we will be using that soon, I'm sure. But it is hard even then. That'll tell you kind of what your braking strength is, but it doesn't necessarily tell you what your boat should be rigged at. Alright, so it's time to cut out the side chain plates right now so we can get the accurate measurements from the hole, and then we're gonna cut out this section so that we can just make one easy bend there. So to protect it, I just put this little, it's like HVAC strapping. I use it a lot for electrical work too, to strap my wires, and this is just going to kind of protect our hole from the saw kind of digging into the side. So just in case I went a little bit too far, that'll kind of stop me from going straight into the fiberglass. So I'll just chop this out. I'm just going to make 2 cuts here, and then hopefully I can just chisel it out, and then I have a little mini belt sander also, which I'm going to kind of use to smooth it out, hopefully. So see how it goes. Well, that came out about as easy as I could have possibly hoped for, just in 2 pieces. And yeah, the hole is right there, all fiberglass, and then this was kind of some sealant, and this is kind of where I would expect to see most of the kind of bad part, and I do see some little pitting in there, so I think we're glad we're doing this. I don't know, let me know what you think. Scary.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't like it. But this is how thick our hull is. That's all fiberglass. Pretty beefy.
Connor and I were just talking about like just how surreal all of this feels, because this is the last big final project that we both have been pushing aside because we've been way too scared to cut any holes like that extreme into the boat. But we knew this was the most important, and we've had quite a few people that told us, your rigging's fine, don't worry, you're overthinking it, you're overcomplicating it. But for us, like this is one of the most important parts of a sailboat. Like your rigging, it has to be on point. That mast, I do not want to see it ever fall down on us on the boat, or just, it needs to stay like this the whole time. So I'm super proud of Connor. He has finally just decided to go for it, and he's doing a good job. Now we just got to find someone to create the new external chain plates, and we'll get it in. That means we're almost ready to go and sail. We're freaking out.
Here's all of them. This one is kind of looking a little bit the worst, probably. I haven't really scratched this one off, so I don't really know. But it doesn't look as bad, and that is the most critical one. I mean, they're all important, but that one would let the mast fall down. This one looks pretty good. So it's really the aft lower that looks bad on this side. We'll see how the other side looks, but either way, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna double them up and be extra sturdy and safe. All right, and here is the port side. Not too bad. Nothing really, I don't see any signs of pitting on this side at least. You know, there obviously could be some on the other side, but that looks, you know, it's dirty, but no real signs of corrosion from what I can see. And this one does look like there's a little pocket down here where it's kind of open, so that could have been feeding water down below. And I also mucked that up pretty good too, so I have to patch that up a little bit. But it's super thick, and this is just above the deck still, so it's not super structural, but we want it as strong as can be, so I'll just patch that up a little bit before we put the new plates on. But looking pretty good, and starting to feel a little bit more, feeling like an approachable project now. You know, it's hard when you're looking at it from too far away, but once you start making little steps here and there, then it you know, little by little we'll get her done.
What are you doing, Connor?
We're very excited about this portion of the boat project. It's finally happening. We're getting ready to do the chain plates, and we may have waited way too long because it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks to get them made, and we're just finally getting our measurements now. So Alpina's very excited.
Why don't we order them sooner?
We didn't know what to do. We were trying to look for help still for a very long time, and we waited too long for help, and now we're just gonna have to do them ourselves. But
so what are we doing here?
we are taking out the back, and all the chain plates are behind here. We have one right here, one right here, one right here, and so we just need to get all our measurements so we can get the metal plates cut, and then we can go from there.
We've been here before.
This is
Haven't
our
we
first
done this?
project.
This is like our very first project, and how coincidental is that it's our last now too?
Not really our last, but
Okay, you're right. Everybody was making fun of me on YouTube last time. Haha, silly girl. Last project.
that's a myth.
I know it's not the last project, but we did start over here. We ended up taking that one of the first things we did when we bought the boat, to inspect the chain plates. And here we are again.
Can never be
So-
simple, can it?
Here she is. exposed.
But that's why we don't want to glass them in. Because we would have to run glass like a couple feet that way too, which means we would have to tear apart this whole cabinet and everything too. So we're gonna drill through here, here, here. Oops. Call it a day. On the all
I'm calling it
7
the day right now.
I'm scared. It's time to go get the drill.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's going for it. How nervous are you?
Pretty nervous. So nervous the drill won't even work. Thanks a lot, Dad.
What happened?
I take it back, Dad.
I forgot to turn the power off. More holes in the boat by Connor.
Pretty thick glass, that's still just fiberglass. We can see the chain plate. It's shiny.
Not rusty? That's good. Are you sure you know where the water line is? What if all of a sudden we miscalculated and we're below water line and water just comes
We're
up?
above the sink, so we should be good.
Okay.
Little lube. There's the outside. And no water. Ah!
I know I wanted some more sunshine and light in the room, but I was thinking like just opening up the window shades.
Well, we found out why we are doing this. Actually, very happy with my decision now because there's water all in there, which means that plate, which is our main, cap shroud, I think they call it, is full of water. So it's got to be corroding in there. It looks all rusty water coming out too. So good news, we're replacing them. So far, 2 out of 3 have water in them. Just about to kind of start kicking myself for biting off this project until we saw all that. And that's, yeah, now I'm very happy that we're doing it. I'll be interrupting my work.
Well, because I
Just
tried
to
to
keep
put this
things
down because I
clean.
just went through cleaning all of these you've seen in previous episodes, and so I laid this sheet down so it wouldn't get anything dirty. And somehow this was completely over here, and he already started to get dirty. And he asked me to come over here to smell something. Do you guys listen when people are like, smell this, put your nose in here? Yeah, me
Smell
neither.
it.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, me neither, except for now.
It does kind of smell like balsamic.
Right?
Maybe the chain plates are from Italy.
They must be. That good Italian steel. They're coated with balsamic vinegar to enhance performance and flavor.
That's why we sail so fast.
So, yeah, now I got these all. These are measuring. I just measured to here. That's kind of lined up with the deck. So I measured 13 on all these, and it turned out to be 18 and a half about. It was 18 and a quarter, 18 and a half, 18 and 3/4. So we're off by a hair, but that's the best I could do, and I'll call that good. Luckily, I'm doing this now before we order all the plates and have to get the holes punched, so I can at least have a start point and an end point for all these plates, getting custom made, and they're all looking good. But now I want to make sure that we're not going over 18 and a half on this side too. We don't want to have a bunch of plates that are way too different sizes. So, scary part again. Different framing, so it's a little bit figuring out now.
But you feel a lot better that you did the first one and now you got the momentum to keep going.
I feel so much better, yeah. Especially after seeing all that juice come out of here. Definitely feel like it was the right call to start drilling all these holes. It's always a scary thing.
Chain plates, here they come. About to start getting made, ready to ship.
The place that's making them is an hour and a half away, so it's not a quick run down the street to go get them rebent or drilled or whatever. So
better an hour-half drive when we still have cars than having to like fly to a country or like get them shipped somewhere across the world.
Agreed.
Silver lining.
Silver linings.
No blood?
No blood. 4 out of the 6 are bleeders.
Oh, Alivo, stop bleeding.
And those are pretty important. Gotta be the luckiest guy in the whole damn world.
What? What'd you say?
I said, I gotta be the luckiest guy in the whole damn world. Look at this gal. She's strong. She can do it. Put those workout muscles to work.
Not bleeding on the outside. No. Got a bleeder here. Wow, look at all that rusty water. We are so happy we're doing these. This one was leaking. That one was the one out of these 3 that was not, but... Ha. Ay, ay, ay.
That was a lot of work. My arms are dead. Malvina helped. But I'm still dead.
I did not help. I did.
She did. She did great.
I tried to do one hole and I couldn't even do that one hole. It's pretty pathetic.
She did a good half a hole. And she looked great doing it. Now we got a big old mess in here we get to put back together. Fun stuff. Look at all those metal shavings. This is just for the 1/4 inch pilot hole. Just so you know. I need to do 3 5/8 holes in that one. 6 5/8 holes in that one. 3 5/8 holes in that one. And then the same on this side. So we're gonna have a fun little probably week of drilling. We're gonna be tired.
So strong.
Our arms are gonna be jacked. We'll give you a little before. Alright, we'll check back in a couple weeks. Since we're eventually gonna have to close these all back up, I didn't want to leave the bottom of these chain plates all still full of water. These have had 2 or 3 days almost to dry to drain out from the top here, and they've been draining all over the outside of the boat, which is kind of a pain in the butt to clean up. So all of this down here was still full of water, so last night I drilled a hole in here and it freaking soaked this rag. Ended up leaking all the way down there and kind of puddling up there too. I think I'm glad I did that too. Not so bad on the other side, but there was still a little bit. That rag's kind of wet. And Malvina wrote our names. Isn't that cute?
You're happy. All right, back to projects on a serious note.
Projects. Let's show you guys what I got going on here. So this was a tough project because I had to figure out how to measure just this kind of very slight curve of the boat. It's almost straight. It was off by like 5/8 of an inch. But I found this tool on Amazon and just measures the curve. So I measured down how far I want the chain plate to go. It's gonna be right down here. We already drilled these holes so we know that we're all lined up. And then when you get the curve, then you can just tighten these up and it'll hold it. And then I was able to trace that curve onto a piece of cardboard and cut that out. So they should be able to bend that metal into this shape. And then to get the harder angles, I use this little digital angle finder right here. Kind of go like that, and it'll show you exactly the angle. lock that in place, and then line that up with the cardboard also. And that's about it, folks. We'll see how they turn out.
Some engineering, last minute engineering. Connor has been up all morning trying to get these all set.
Stressing about this. She's been stressing about the wedding. We are full of stress right now, but we're gonna go have a good time.
Yeah, we're on the home stretch. Right when we drop these off, we get to go have fun and be with our family and celebrate love.
And luckily, they cut these out. They estimated 4 to 6 weeks for these chain plates, and they got them cut within a week. So we're scheduled
stoked
now to leave at the end of September.
Yeah, we need to pay rent for our last month and say you later, LA. Smell you later.
Got all the templates cut out and ready to go. We're gonna bring them to Garhauer today so they can bend them all. And so, yeah, I just matched up the starboard and port, middle. That one's gonna be 4 inches wide, but that's basically the curve of the boat. To find that curve of the boat, I used this tool I found on Amazon. It's pretty cool. You can make whatever curve out of it you want, and then tighten these little knobs in place. Trace it out onto some cardboard, use a razor blade to cut that out, and we're all good to go.
What are we picking up?
We're getting chain plates.
We're getting chain plates. Let's check these bad boys out. Chain plates, chain plates.
We're at Garhauer Marine looking at other people's chain plates and about to hopefully get to see ours before they're bent. We got all kinds of cool stuff here. More stanchions. You want some more stanchions?
This was phase 1 of getting our chain plates. Garhauer is who supplied ours, and they look amazing. This day we dropped off our templates so they can match the plates to the curvature of Alivo. Then phase 2 will be drilling out the holes and slapping on these beefy plates to our existing plates. Then phase 3, we'll be replacing all our standing rigging. We're on our last few weeks in the slip, so it is go time.